Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Friday Night Scripture Reading. We've been working our way through the book of Numbers. Couple of things before we get started. We'll be in Numbers 31. Our catechism question for the week. Number 31. What benefits do those who are effectively called receive in this life? The answer: those who are effectively called receive in this life justification, adoption, sanctification, and the distinct benefits that either accompany them or flow from them. Also wanted to read a little paragraph about what we're going to be discussing at our Ambassador Evangelism meeting tomorrow. We're going to be meeting at Bass Chapel at 2 p.m., so if you're in the neighborhood, join us as we're working our way through The Whole Christ by Sinclair Ferguson. We are up to chapter 9, and it's called The Marrow of Assurance. But I want to read a question in the paragraph, in the chapter, that'll be leading up to what we're discussing, so we'd love for you to join us. Is knowledge, belief, and persuasion that Christ died for me, and that he is mine, and that whatever he did and suffered, he did and suffered for me, the direct act of faith whereby a sinner is united to Christ, interested in him, instated in God's covenant of grace? Or is that knowledge of persuasion included in the very essence of that justifying act of faith? So you can be pondering that question and join us tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Bass Chapel for our Ambassador Evangelism meeting. Switching it up, it's going to be in the afternoon and it's going to be at church. So join us for that. And as I said, we're in Numbers chapter 31, reading out of the LSB. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "Take full vengeance for the sons of Israel on the Midianites afterward. You will be gathered to your people." And Moses spoke to the people, saying, "Arm men from among you for the war, that they may go against Midian to execute Yahweh's vengeance on Midian. 1,000 from each tribe of all the tribes of Israel you shall send to the war." So there were furnished from the thousands of Israel 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them 1,000 from each tribe to the war, and Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest, to the war with them, and the holy vessels and the trumpets for the alarm in his hand. So they made war against Midian, just as Yahweh had commanded Moses, and they killed every male. They killed the kings of Midian along with the rest of their slain, Evi and Rechem and Zur and Hur and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian. They also killed Balaam, the son of Beor, with the sword. And the sons of Israel captured the women of Midian and their little ones, and all their cattle and all their flocks and all their goods they plundered. Then they burned all their cities where they lived and all their camps with fire. And they took all the spoil and all the loot, both of man and of beast. And they brought the captives and the loot and the spoil to Moses and to Eleazar the priest, and to the congregation of the sons of Israel, to the camp at the plains of Moab, which are by the Jordan opposite Jericho. And Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the leaders of the congregation went out to meet them outside the camp. And Moses was angry with the officers of the army, the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds, who had come from service in the war. So Moses said to them, "Have you spared all the women? Behold, these caused the sons of Israel, through the word of Balaam, to act unfaithfully against Yahweh in the matter of Peor. So the plague was among the congregation of Yahweh. So now kill every male among the little ones, kill every woman who has known man intimately. But all the girls who have not known a man intimately, spare for yourselves, and you camp outside the camp 7 days. Whoever has killed any person and whoever has touched any slain, purify yourselves, you and your captives, on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. And you shall purify for yourselves every garment and every article of leather and all the work of goat's hair and all articles of wood. Then Eleazar the priest said to the men of war who had gone to battle, This is the statute of the law which Yahweh has commanded Moses. Only the gold and the silver, the bronze, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that can stand the fire, you shall pass through the fire. And it shall be clean, but it shall be purified with water for impurity. But whatever cannot stand the fire, you shall pass through the water. And you shall wash your clothes on the 7th day and be clean. And afterward you may enter the camp. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, You and Eleazar the priest, and the heads of the fathers' households of the congregation, take account of the loot that was captured, both of man and of animal, and divide the loot between the warriors who went out to battle and all the congregation. And you shall exact a levy for Yahweh from the men of war who went out to battle, 1 in 500, of the persons, and of the cattle, and of the donkeys, and of the sheep. Take it from their half, and give it to Eleazar the priest as a contribution to Yahweh. And from the sons of Israel's half you shall take one drawn out of every 50 of the persons, of the cattle, of the donkeys, and of the sheep, from all the animals, and give them to the Levites who keep charge of the tabernacle of Yahweh. Moses and Eleazar the priest did just as Yahweh had commanded Moses. Now the loot that remained from the plunder which the men of war had plundered was 675,000 sheep, and 72,000 cattle, and 61,000 donkeys, and of human beings, of the women who had not known a man intimately, all the persons were 32,000. And the portion of those who went out to war, was as follows. The number of sheep was 337,500, and the levy of Yahweh from the sheep was 675. And the cattle were 36,000, from which the levy of Yahweh was 72, and the donkeys were 30,500, from which the levy of Yahweh was 61, and the human beings were 16,000, from whom the levy of Yahweh was 32 persons. And Moses gave the levy, which was the contribution to Yahweh, to Eleazar the priest, just as Yahweh had commanded Moses. As for the sons of Israel's half, which Moses separated from the men who had gone to war, now the congregation's half was 337,500 sheep, and 36,000 cattle, and 30,500 donkeys, and the human beings were 16,000. And from the sons of Israel's half, Moses took one drawn out of every 50, both of man and of animal, and gave them to the Levites, who kept the responsibility of the tabernacle of Yahweh, just as Yahweh had commanded Moses. Then the officers who were over the thousands of the army, and commanders of thousands, and the commanders of hundreds came near to Moses. And they said to Moses, Your servants have taken a census of men of war who are in our charge, and no man of us is missing. So we have brought near as an offering to Yahweh what each man found, articles of gold, armlets, and bracelets, signet rings, earrings, and necklaces, to make atonement for ourselves before Yahweh. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold from them, and all kinds of crafted articles, and all the gold from the contribution offering, which they raised up in offering to Yahweh from the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. The men of war had taken plunder, every man for himself. So Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold from the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, and they brought it to the tent of meeting, as a memorial for the sons of Israel before Yahweh. Numbers chapter 32. Now the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad had an exceedingly large number of livestock, and they saw the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead, that it was indeed a place suitable for livestock. So the sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben came and spoke to Moses and to Eleazar the priest and to the leaders of the congregation, saying, Adaroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Elealah, Sebam, Nebo, and Biron, the land which Yahweh struck before the congregation of Israel, is a land for livestock, and your servants have livestock. And they said, if we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants as a possession. Do not take us across the Jordan. But Moses said to the sons of Gad and to the sons of Reuben, shall your brothers go to war while you yourselves sit here? Now why are you discouraging the sons of Israel from crossing over into the land which Yahweh has given them? This is what your fathers did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to the sea, or to see the land. Indeed, they went up to the valley of Escol and saw the land. And they discouraged the sons of Israel so that they did not go into the land which Yahweh had given them. So Yahweh's anger burned in that day, and he swore an oath, saying, none of the men who came up from Egypt, from 20 years old and upwards, shall see the land which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. For they did not follow me fully, except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and the Kenizzite, and Joshua, the son of Nun, for they have followed Yahweh fully. So Yahweh's anger burned against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until the entire generation of those who had done evil in the sight of Yahweh was brought to an end. Now behold, you have risen up in your father's place, a brood of sinful men, to add still more to the burning anger of Yahweh against Israel. For if you turn away from following him, he will once more abandon them in the wilderness, and you will destroy all these people. Then they came near to him and said, we will build here sheepfolds for our livestock and cities for our little ones. But we ourselves will be armed, ready to go before the sons of Israel, until we have brought them to their place, and our little ones live in the fortified cities because of the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our homes until every one of the sons of Israel has possessed his inheritance. For we will not have an inheritance with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because our inheritance has fallen to us on this side of the Jordan east. So Moses said to them, if you will do this, if you will arm yourselves before Yahweh for the war, and all of your armed men cross over the Jordan before Yahweh until he has dispossessed his enemies from before him, and the land is subdued before Yahweh, then afterward you shall return and be free of obligation toward Yahweh and toward Israel, and this land shall be yours for a possession before Yahweh. But if you will not do so, behold, you have sinned against Yahweh, and be sure your sin will find you out. Build yourselves cities for your little ones and your sheepfolds for your sheep, and do what you have promised. And the sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben spoke to Moses, saying, your servants will do just as my Lord commands. Our little ones, our wives, our livestock, and all our cattle shall remain there in the cities of Gilead. But your servants, every one who is armed for war, will cross over in the presence of Yahweh to battle, just as my Lord says. So Moses gave a command concerning them to Eleazar the priest, and to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers' households of the tribes of the sons of Israel. And Moses said to them, if the sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben, everyone who is armed for battle, will cross with you over the Jordan in the presence of Yahweh, and the land is subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilead for a possession. But if they will not cross over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben answered, saying, as Yahweh has said to your servants, so we will do. We ourselves will cross over armed in the presence of Yahweh into the land of Canaan, and the possession of our inheritance shall remain with us across the Jordan. So Moses gave to them, to the sons of Gad and to the sons of Reuben, and to the half-tribe of Joseph's son Manasseh, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, the king of Bashan, the land with its cities and their territories, the cities of the surrounding land. And the sons of Gad built Dibon, and Ataroth, and Arar, and Etroth Shaphan, and Jazer, and Jogbehah, and Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran, for fortified cities, and sheepfolds for sheep. And the sons of Reuben built Heshbon, and Elialah, and Kirithaim, and Nebo and Bel-meon, their names being changed, and Sibmah, and they gave other names to the cities which they built. And the sons of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead, and took it, and dispossessed the Amorites who were in it. So Moses gave Gilead to Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he lived in it. And Jair, the son of Manasseh, went and took its towns and called them Havoth Jair. And Nobah went and took Kenath and its towns and called it Nobah after his own name. Numbers chapter 33. These are the journeys of the sons of Israel, by which they came out of the land of Egypt by their armies, by the hand of Moses and Aaron. And Moses wrote down their starting places according to their journeys by the command of Yahweh. And these are the journeys according to their starting places. They journeyed from Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month, on the next day after the Passover. The sons of Israel started out with a high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians. But the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn, whom Yahweh had struck down among them. Yahweh had also executed judgments on their gods. Then the sons of Israel journeyed from Ramses and camped in Succoth. They journeyed from Succoth and camped in Etham, which is on the edge of the wilderness. They journeyed from Etham, turned back to Pi-Hahiroth, which faces Baal-Zephon, and they camped before Migdol. They journeyed from before Hahiroth and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness, and they went 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham and camped at Marah. They journeyed from Marah and came to Elim, and in Elim there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, and they camped there. They journeyed from Elim and camped by the Red Sea. They journeyed from the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. They journeyed from the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophkah, and journeyed from Dophkah and camped at Elush. They journeyed from Elush and camped at Rephidim. Now it was there that the people had no water to drink. They journeyed from Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. They journeyed from the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattaavah. They journeyed from Kibroth Hattaavah and camped at Hazeroth. They journeyed from Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah. They journeyed from Rithmah and camped at Rimmon Perez. They journeyed from Rimmon Perez and camped at Libnah. They journeyed from Libnah and camped at Rissah. They journeyed from Rissah and camped at Kehelath. They journeyed from Kehelah and camped at Mount Sephir. They journeyed from Mount Shepher, and camped at Haradah. They journeyed from Haradah and camped at Machaloth. They journeyed from Machaloth and camped at Tahath. They journeyed from Tahath and camped at Terah. They journeyed from Terah and camped at Mithkah. They journeyed from Mithkah and camped at Hashmanah. They journeyed from Hashmanah and camped at Moseroth. They journeyed from Moseroth and camped at Bene-Jaakon. They journeyed from Bene-Jaakon and camped at Hor-Haggidgad. They journeyed from Hor-Haggidgad and camped at Jotbathah. They journeyed from Jotbathah and camped at Abranah. They journeyed from Abranah and camped at Ezion-Geber. They journeyed from Ezion-Geber and camped in the wilderness of Zin, that is Kadesh. They journeyed from Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor at the edge of the land of Edom. Then Aaron the priest went up to Mount Hor at the command of Yahweh, and he died there in the 40th year after the sons of Israel had come from the land of Egypt, on the first day in the 5th month. Now Aaron was 123 years old when he died on Mount Hor. Now the Canaanite, the king of Arad, who lived in the Negev in the land of Canaan, heard when the sons of Israel were coming. Then they journeyed from Mount Hor and camped at Zalmanah. They journeyed from Zalmanah and camped at Punon. They journeyed from Punon and camped at Oboth. They journeyed from Oboth and camped at Abiram at the border of Moab. They journeyed from Elim and camped at Dibon-Gad. They journeyed from Dibon-Gad and camped at Almon Diblathaim. They journeyed from Almon Diblathaim and camped at the mountains of Abarim before Nebo. They journeyed from the mountains of Abiram and camped in the plains of Moab by the Jordan opposite Jericho. They camped by the Jordan from Beth Jeshimoth as far as Abel Shittim in the plains of Moab. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan opposite Jericho, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, and say to them, When you cross over the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall dispossess all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their carved stones, and destroy all their molten images, and demolish all their high places. And you shall take possession of the land and inhabit it, for I have given the land to you to possess it. And you shall inherit the land by lot according to your families. To the larger you shall give a larger inheritance, and to the smaller you shall give a smaller inheritance. Wherever the lot falls to anyone, that shall be his. You shall inherit it according to the tribes of your fathers. But if you do not dispossess the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it will be that those whom you let remain of them will become as pricks in your eyes, and as thorns in your sides, and they will trouble you in the land which you inhabit. And it will be as I plan to do to them, so I will do to you. Numbers chapter 34. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Command the sons of Israel, and say to them, When you enter the land of Canaan, this is the land that shall fall to you as an inheritance, even the land of Canaan according to its borders, and your southern sector shall extend from the wilderness of Zin along the side of Edom, and your southern border shall extend from the end of the salt sea eastward. Then your border shall turn from the south to the ascent of Akrabim, and continue to Zin, and its termination shall be to the south of Kadesh Barnea. And it shall reach Hazaradar, and continue to Asmon, and the border shall turn from Asmon to the brook of Egypt, and its termination shall be at the sea. And as for the west border, you shall have the great sea, that is its coastline. This shall be your west border. And this shall be your north border. You shall draw your borderline from the great sea to Mount Hor. You shall draw a line from Mount Hor to Lebo Hamath, and the termination of the border shall be at Zedad. And the border shall proceed to Ziphron, and its termination shall be at Hazar Enan. This shall be your north border. For your east border you shall also draw a line from Hazar Enan to Shephem, and the border shall go down from Shephem to Riblah on the east side of Ain. And the border shall go down and reach to the slope of the east side of the sea of Chinnereth. And the border shall go down to the Jordan, and its termination shall be at the salt sea. This shall be your land, according to its borders all around. So Moses commanded the sons of Israel, saying, This is the land that you shall inherit by lot among you as a possession, which Yahweh has commanded to give to the 9.5 tribes. For the tribe of the sons of Reuben have received theirs according to their father's household, and the tribe of the sons of Gad according to their father's household, and the half tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. The 2.5 tribes have received their inheritance across the Jordan, opposite Jericho, to the east toward the sunrise. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, These are the names of the men who shall apportion the land to you for inheritance: Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun. And you shall take one leader of every tribe to apportion the land for inheritance. Now these are the names of the men. Of the tribe of Judah, Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. Of the tribe of the sons of Simeon, Samuel, the son of Ammihud. Of the tribe of Benjamin, Eladad, the son of Chislon. Of the tribe of the sons of Dan, a leader, Buki, the son of Jogli. Of the sons of Joseph, of the tribe of the sons of Manasseh, a leader, Haniel, the son of Ephod. Of the tribe of the sons of Ephraim, a leader, Kemuel, the son of Shiftan. Of the tribe of the sons of Zebulun, a leader, Elizaphan, the son of Parnak. Of the tribe of the sons of Issachar, a leader, Paltiel, the son of Azan. Of the tribe of the sons of Asher, a leader, Ahihud, the son of Shilemi. Of the tribe of the sons of Naphtali, a leader, Pedahel, the son of Ammihud. These are those whom Yahweh commanded to apportion the inheritance of the sons of Israel in the land of Canaan. And I think we'll stop right there. If the Lord wills it, we will read the last 2 chapters of Numbers next week. We've spent a lot of time going through Numbers. We started in February, and we've spent 3 months so far, and we'll have 1 more week to go, if the Lord so wills it. And like I said, join us tomorrow at Bass Chapel at 2 o'clock as we talk about a marrow of assurance from the Sinclair Ferguson book, The Whole Christ. And Sunday school, 10 a.m., corporate worship at 11 a.m., and then we'll have evening fellowship, I believe, at 5 p.m., if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. You'll have to find that out Sunday at morning service. Y'all have a great weekend. Goodbye.